Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something that shapes every success story in the world: breaking barriers. Barriers can appear in many forms. Sometimes they are external, like lack of opportunities, criticism, or difficult circumstances. But often the biggest barriers are the ones inside our own minds: fear, doubt, and the belief that something is impossible. The journey of Joe Ranga is a powerful reminder that barriers are not walls meant to stop us. They are challenges meant to test us. Every great journey begins with a moment of decision. A moment when a person chooses courage over comfort. Joe Ranga faced moments where the path forward was uncertain and the obstacles seemed overwhelming. Yet instead of turning back, he chose to move forward, one step at a time. Breaking barriers is never easy. It requires resilience. It requires belief in yourself when others may not yet see your vision. It requires the determination to keep moving even when progress feels slow. Joe Ranga's story teaches us that barriers are often illusions created by fear. When we push beyond them, we discover strengths we never knew we had. Each challenge becomes a lesson. Each setback becomes preparation for something greater. Think about the barriers in your own life. Perhaps they are doubts about your abilities, fear of failure, or the pressure of expectations. These barriers can feel heavy, but they are not permanent. History shows us that every great achievement came from someone who refused to accept limits. The people who change the world are those who challenge what seems impossible. Joe Ranga represents that spirit. The spirit of persistence. The spirit of courage. The spirit of someone who refuses to let obstacles define their future. Breaking barriers is not about being fearless. It is about moving forward despite fear. It is about believing that your dreams are stronger than your doubts. And when one person breaks a barrier, they do more than change their own life. They create a path for others to follow. So today, let us remember this message. The barriers we face are not the end of our journey. They are the beginning of our growth. Like Joe Ranga, we must rise, push forward, and prove that limits exist only until someone dares to challenge them. Every journey toward success begins with a path that is rarely smooth or easy. No matter who you are, where you come from, or what dreams you carry in your heart, barriers will appear along the way. These barriers are a natural part of growth and progress. They challenge us, test our determination, and shape the person we eventually become. Barriers can take many different forms. Sometimes they are external obstacles such as limited resources, financial struggles, lack of opportunities, or criticism from others. People may question your abilities, doubt your vision, or tell you that your goals are unrealistic. These voices can become loud and discouraging, making it feel as if the path ahead is blocked. At other times, the barriers we face are internal. These are often the most powerful and difficult to overcome. Fear of failure, self-doubt, hesitation, and the worry of what others might think can quietly build walls in our minds. These mental barriers can stop us before we even try. They can convince us that we are not ready, not capable, or not deserving of success. However, every person who has ever achieved something meaningful has faced these same kinds of barriers. The difference between those who succeed and those who stop is not the absence of obstacles, but the willingness to confront them. When people like Joe Ranga encounter challenges, they do not see them as signals to give up. Instead, they see them as opportunities to grow stronger. Barriers often appear at the moments when we are about to take an important step forward. They test our commitment to our dreams. When we push through them, we discover abilities and strengths that we did not know we possessed. What once seemed like an impossible wall slowly turns into a stepping stone. In many ways, barriers serve an important purpose in life. They build resilience, patience, and character. Without challenges, success would not carry the same meaning. Every obstacle we overcome adds another layer of confidence and experience to our journey. Joe Ranga's journey reflects this truth clearly. Like many individuals striving to achieve something meaningful, he encountered difficulties and moments of uncertainty. Yet those barriers did not define his path, his response to them did. By continuing to move forward, he transformed obstacles into opportunities. Barriers also teach us valuable lessons about perseverance and adaptability. Sometimes the path we originally planned may not work, and we must find a new direction. Obstacles force us to think creatively, to learn new skills, and to develop a stronger mindset. Another important reality about barriers is that they often appear bigger than they truly are. From a distance, they may seem impossible to overcome. But when we take the first step and begin working through them, we realize that progress is possible. Each small step forward reduces the power that those barriers once held over us. It is also important to remember that barriers do not mean failure. They are simply part of the process. Every successful person has stories of setbacks, struggles, and moments when things did not go as planned. These experiences are not signs of weakness, they are signs of effort and determination. In the journey of breaking barriers, patience becomes just as important as courage. Some obstacles disappear quickly, while others require time, persistence, and repeated effort. The key is to remain focused on the goal while continuing to move forward, even when progress feels slow. When we understand that barriers exist in every journey, we begin to see them differently. Instead of fearing them, we start to recognize them as milestones along the road to success. They remind us that we are moving, growing, and striving for something greater. And through this understanding, we realize that the presence of barriers is not a reason to stop. It is proof that we are on a path worth pursuing. One of the most powerful truths about success is that the greatest barriers are often not the ones we see around us, but the ones we carry within our own minds. Circumstances, challenges, and obstacles may appear difficult, but the way we think about them determines whether they become permanent walls or temporary hurdles. Mindset shapes how we react to difficulties, how we interpret failure, and how strongly we believe in our ability to move forward. Many people believe that success is limited by external factors such as resources, connections, or opportunities. While these things can influence a journey, they are rarely the true deciding factor. The real limitation often comes from self-doubt, hesitation, and the fear of stepping outside what feels safe and familiar. These thoughts quietly create invisible barriers that prevent individuals from reaching their full potential. A negative mindset can be incredibly powerful. When someone constantly tells themselves that something is too difficult or that they are not capable enough, their actions begin to reflect that belief. They may avoid challenges, hesitate to take risks, or stop trying after the first setback. Over time, these small decisions build a pattern that keeps them trapped within the boundaries of their own fears. Self-doubt is one of the most common mental barriers. It whispers questions like, "What if I fail?" or "What if I'm not good enough?" These doubts can make even the most talented and capable individuals question their abilities. Instead of focusing on possibilities, the mind begins to focus on limitations. Fear of failure is closely connected to this mindset. Many people avoid pursuing their dreams simply because they are afraid of making mistakes. They worry about embarrassment, criticism, or disappointment. As a result, they stay in their comfort zones where everything feels predictable and safe. However, comfort rarely leads to growth, and avoiding risk often means missing opportunities that could lead to success. Another mental barrier is the habit of comparing oneself to others. In a world where people constantly see the achievements and highlights of others, it is easy to feel inadequate or behind. This comparison can weaken confidence and create the false belief that success is meant only for certain people. Instead of focusing on their own progress, individuals begin to measure themselves against unrealistic standards. Mindset also influences how we interpret challenges. A person with a limited mindset may see obstacles as signs that they should stop. They may view setbacks as proof that they are not capable. On the other hand, someone with a growth-oriented mindset sees those same obstacles as opportunities to learn and improve. This difference in thinking creates a dramatic shift in outcomes. When individuals believe that they can grow, adapt, and improve through effort, they approach challenges with curiosity rather than fear. They become more willing to experiment, to try again after failure, and to continue learning along the way. The story of breaking barriers often begins with a shift in perspective. When individuals change the way they think about difficulties, they change the way they respond to them. Instead of seeing a barrier as a permanent limit, they begin to see it as a problem waiting to be solved. Confidence also grows through action. Many people wait until they feel fully confident before taking a step forward, but confidence rarely appears on its own. It develops gradually through experience. Each small achievement strengthens belief, and each challenge overcome builds greater mental resilience. Another important aspect of mindset is the ability to focus on possibilities rather than limitations. A strong mindset does not ignore challenges or pretend that difficulties do not exist. Instead, it acknowledges them while still believing that solutions can be found. This balanced perspective allows individuals to remain realistic while maintaining hope and determination. Mental strength also involves controlling the internal dialogue that runs through our minds. The way we speak to ourselves matters more than we often realize. Encouraging thoughts can motivate action, while negative thoughts can weaken motivation. By learning to challenge limiting beliefs and replace them with more constructive perspectives, individuals can reshape the mental environment that influences their decisions. Over time, this shift in mindset becomes a powerful force. What once felt impossible begins to feel achievable. The same challenges that once caused hesitation become opportunities to demonstrate growth and determination. Instead of being controlled by fear or doubt, individuals begin to move forward with greater clarity and purpose. Understanding that mindset is the biggest barrier changes the way we approach success. It reminds us that many limits are not fixed realities but perceptions shaped by our thinking. When the mind becomes stronger, more focused, and more resilient, barriers that once seemed unbreakable begin to lose their power. Every meaningful journey begins with a moment that requires courage. Before progress can happen, before dreams can begin to take shape, there is always a point where a person must decide whether to step forward or remain where they are. This moment is often quiet and personal, but it carries enormous importance because it marks the beginning of change. Courage is not always loud or dramatic. Many people imagine courage as a heroic act performed in extraordinary circumstances, but in reality, courage often appears in small and simple decisions. It is the choice to try something new, to pursue an idea others may doubt, or to continue moving forward even when the path ahead is uncertain. Starting something new can be intimidating. When people stand at the beginning of a journey, they often see more questions than answers. They wonder whether they have the right skills, whether the effort will succeed, or whether the risks are too great. These doubts are natural, but they can also become obstacles if they prevent someone from taking the first step. Courage is the force that pushes individuals beyond that hesitation. It allows them to act despite uncertainty and to move forward even when they cannot see the entire path ahead. Without courage, many dreams remain ideas rather than realities. One of the reasons courage is so important at the beginning of a journey is because the first step is often the hardest. Before that step is taken, everything exists only in imagination. Goals feel distant and overwhelming because they have not yet been turned into action. But once a person takes that first step, the journey becomes real and progress begins. Courage also involves accepting the possibility of failure. Every new path carries risks, and there is no guarantee that things will always go according to plan. However, courageous individuals understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the learning process. Instead of avoiding challenges, they accept that mistakes and setbacks can provide valuable lessons. Another important aspect of courage is the willingness to stand by one's beliefs and vision. Sometimes the ideas that lead to success are not immediately understood or supported by others. People may question the decision, doubt the outcome, or encourage someone to choose a safer path. In such moments, courage becomes the ability to trust one's own judgment and remain committed to the goal. Courage also helps individuals break free from the comfort zone. The comfort zone is a place where everything feels familiar and predictable. While it provides safety, it often limits growth. Real progress happens when people step beyond what feels comfortable and explore new possibilities. Courage makes this transition possible by giving individuals the confidence to face the unknown. In many journeys, courage must appear repeatedly. The initial step may begin the process, but continued effort requires ongoing bravery. Each challenge, each difficult decision, and each unexpected obstacle calls for renewed determination. Courage becomes a guiding force that keeps individuals moving even when the road becomes difficult. The presence of courage also inspires resilience. When people face obstacles with courage, they become better prepared to adapt and continue forward. Instead of being discouraged by difficulties, they learn to see them as part of the adventure. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to strengthen their abilities and deepen their commitment. Courage often grows stronger with experience. The more individuals act despite fear, the more they realize that fear does not have to control their choices. Every courageous decision builds confidence and reinforces the belief that progress is possible. Over time, actions that once felt intimidating become natural parts of the journey. Another powerful aspect of courage is its ability to influence others. When someone takes a bold step toward their goals, it often encourages those around them to do the same. Courage can create a ripple effect, showing others that it is possible to challenge limitations and pursue meaningful ambitions. The journey toward success rarely begins with perfect preparation or complete certainty. Most journeys begin with a simple decision to try. That decision, fueled by courage, transforms ideas into action and dreams into real possibilities. In every journey of growth and achievement, persistence plays a vital role. It is the steady force that keeps a person moving forward even when progress becomes slow or difficult. While talent, opportunity, and ambition are important, persistence is often the quality that determines whether a goal is eventually achieved or quietly abandoned along the way. Success rarely happens instantly. Most meaningful accomplishments require time, effort, and repeated attempts. There are moments when progress feels exciting and rewarding, but there are also periods when the journey becomes challenging and discouraging. During these difficult times, persistence becomes the difference between stopping and continuing. Persistence means refusing to give up when obstacles appear. Challenges are an unavoidable part of any meaningful pursuit. Plans may fail, circumstances may change, and results may not appear as quickly as expected. These situations can make people question whether their efforts are worth continuing. However, individuals who remain persistent understand that setbacks are not signs to stop. They are signals to keep trying and improving. One of the most powerful aspects of persistence is the ability to maintain focus over a long period of time. Many goals require patience and consistent effort before visible results appear. In the early stages of a journey, progress may be small and gradual. It can feel as though the hard work is not making a significant difference. Yet persistence allows individuals to trust the process and continue building momentum step by step. Another important element of persistence is resilience. When people encounter failure or disappointment, it is natural to feel discouraged. However, persistent individuals view these experiences differently. Instead of seeing failure as the end of their efforts, they treat it as a learning opportunity. They analyze what went wrong, make adjustments, and try again with greater knowledge and determination. Persistence also strengthens character. Each challenge faced and each obstacle overcome builds inner strength and confidence. Over time, individuals who practice persistence develop a mindset that is less affected by temporary difficulties. They become more adaptable, more patient, and more prepared to handle future challenges. Consistency is closely connected to persistence. While dramatic efforts may produce short bursts of progress, long-term success usually comes from steady and continuous work. Small actions repeated over time can lead to remarkable results. Persistent individuals understand that every effort, no matter how small, contributes to the larger goal. Another reason persistence is essential is because many opportunities appear only after sustained effort. Sometimes the breakthrough people are waiting for arrives after numerous attempts. If someone stops too early, they may miss the moment when their efforts finally begin to produce results. Persistence ensures that individuals remain present long enough to experience those turning points. Persistence also requires a strong belief in the value of one's goals. When people truly care about what they are working toward, they are more willing to continue despite difficulties. Passion and purpose fuel persistence by reminding individuals why their efforts matter. At times, persistence also involves adjusting strategies without abandoning the goal. The path toward success is rarely straight. Sometimes the approach needs to change, new skills must be learned, or new opportunities must be explored. Persistent individuals remain flexible in their methods while staying committed to their objectives. Another powerful impact of persistence is the confidence it builds. Each challenge overcome reinforces the belief that obstacles can be managed and progress can continue. This growing confidence encourages individuals to take on greater challenges and pursue larger ambitions. Persistence also influences the people around us. When others see someone continue to work hard despite difficulties, it creates a powerful example of dedication and determination. This influence can motivate others to remain committed to their own goals and challenges. Over time, persistence transforms effort into achievement. What once seemed distant and difficult slowly becomes attainable through repeated action and unwavering determination. The journey may include setbacks and delays, but persistence ensures that progress never completely stops. Every journey toward growth and achievement includes challenges. These moments can feel difficult, uncomfortable, and sometimes overwhelming. However, challenges play an important role in shaping a person's character and abilities. They test our limits, push us beyond what feels easy, and help us develop strengths that might never appear in comfortable situations. When life is easy and predictable, there is little pressure to change or improve. People often remain within familiar routines where everything feels safe. While comfort can provide stability, it rarely encourages development. Challenges disrupt this comfort and create situations where individuals must adapt, think differently, and discover new capabilities. One of the most valuable aspects of challenges is the lessons they provide. Every obstacle presents an opportunity to learn something new. Sometimes the lesson is practical, such as developing new skills, finding better strategies, or improving decision-making. Other times the lesson is emotional or mental, teaching patience, resilience, and self-control. These lessons accumulate over time and shape the mindset needed for long-term success. Challenges also reveal hidden strengths. Many people underestimate their abilities because they have never been placed in situations that require them to stretch beyond their usual limits. When difficulties arise, individuals are forced to find solutions, manage pressure, and keep moving forward. Through this process, they begin to realize that they are stronger and more capable than they once believed. Another important effect of challenges is the development of resilience. Resilience is the ability to recover from setbacks and continue working toward a goal. Without challenges, resilience cannot fully develop. Each obstacle that is faced and overcome strengthens a person's ability to handle future difficulties. Over time, individuals who regularly confront challenges become more confident in their capacity to adapt and endure. Challenges also encourage creativity and problem solving. When a path becomes blocked, people must search for alternative routes. They must analyze situations carefully, think outside familiar patterns, and explore new possibilities. This process sharpens the mind and builds the ability to approach problems with flexibility and innovation. In addition, challenges often bring clarity to our priorities. When everything is easy, it can be difficult to determine what truly matters. Difficult moments force individuals to reflect on their goals, values, and motivations. They reveal which ambitions are worth the effort and which ones may not be as important as they once seemed. Another way challenges build strength is by increasing patience. Many goals require sustained effort over time, and obstacles can slow progress. Learning to remain patient during these periods helps individuals maintain focus and avoid frustration. Patience allows people to continue working steadily even when immediate results are not visible. Challenges also strengthen emotional endurance. Difficult situations can trigger stress, disappointment, or frustration. Learning how to manage these emotions becomes an important part of personal development. Individuals who face challenges regularly learn how to stay calm, think clearly, and respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Furthermore, challenges create stories of perseverance that inspire others. When someone overcomes hardship or navigates a difficult situation successfully, their experience becomes an example of determination. These stories remind others that obstacles are not permanent barriers but moments that can be overcome with effort and resilience. Another important element of challenges is the confidence they create after being overcome. When people reflect on difficulties they have already faced and managed, they begin to trust their ability to handle future situations. This confidence becomes a powerful source of motivation because it reduces fear and encourages individuals to take on new opportunities. Over time, the accumulation of challenges and the lessons learned from them become the foundation of strength. What once felt like a problem begins to look like an important step in the process of growth. Each obstacle adds experience, wisdom, and determination, gradually shaping a stronger and more capable individual. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions that human beings experience. It is a natural response designed to protect us from danger and uncertainty. In many situations, fear can be helpful because it encourages caution and awareness. However, when fear becomes too strong or when it is allowed to control our decisions, it can also become a major obstacle that prevents progress and personal growth. In the journey toward achieving goals and breaking barriers, fear often appears at critical moments. It shows up when someone is about to take a new step, try something unfamiliar, or pursue an opportunity that carries risk. The mind begins to imagine possible failures, disappointments, or negative outcomes. These thoughts can make the situation appear more intimidating than it actually is. One of the most common fears people experience is the fear of failure. Many individuals worry about making mistakes or not achieving the results they hoped for. This fear can become so powerful that it stops them from even trying. Instead of taking action, they remain in a place of hesitation, waiting for a perfect moment that may never arrive. Another form of fear is the fear of judgment. People often worry about how others might react to their decisions or efforts. They may fear criticism, rejection, or embarrassment. Because of this concern, they choose safer paths that feel less risky, even if those paths do not lead toward their true ambitions. Fear of the unknown also plays a significant role in preventing progress. When individuals cannot clearly see what lies ahead, the uncertainty can feel overwhelming. The mind tends to imagine worst-case scenarios, creating a sense of danger that may not actually exist. This uncertainty can make people feel as though staying where they are is safer than moving forward. However, progress requires movement beyond these fears. Growth rarely occurs in environments where everything feels comfortable and predictable. When individuals allow fear to control their decisions, they limit their potential and miss opportunities that could lead to meaningful achievements. Understanding fear is the first step in overcoming it. Fear often becomes less powerful when people recognize that it is a natural emotional response rather than a permanent barrier. Instead of seeing fear as a signal to stop, it can be viewed as an indicator that something important is happening, something that may lead to growth and new possibilities. Another helpful approach is focusing on action rather than overthinking. Fear tends to grow stronger when people spend too much time imagining what might go wrong. Taking even a small step forward can reduce this fear by turning uncertainty into experience. Each action provides information, feedback, and learning that replaces imagined worries with real understanding. Confidence also develops when individuals repeatedly face their fears. The first attempt may feel uncomfortable, but with practice, the feeling of fear gradually becomes easier to manage. What once seemed intimidating slowly becomes familiar, and the sense of control grows stronger. It is also important to remember that fear and courage often exist at the same time. Courage does not mean the absence of fear. Instead, it means choosing to move forward despite feeling afraid. Many of the most successful individuals in the world have admitted that they felt fear during important moments in their journeys. The difference is that they did not allow that fear to stop them from acting. Fear can also be transformed into motivation. When people care deeply about a goal or dream, that passion can become stronger than the fear that tries to hold them back. Instead of focusing on what might go wrong, they begin to focus on what could be achieved if they continue moving forward. Support from others can also reduce the impact of fear. Encouragement from mentors, friends, or family members can provide reassurance and perspective. Sometimes hearing another person's belief in our abilities can help us regain the confidence needed to take the next step. Another important aspect of overcoming fear is learning to accept uncertainty as part of life. No journey comes with a guarantee of perfect results. Every path includes unexpected turns, challenges, and lessons. Accepting this reality allows individuals to approach opportunities with curiosity rather than hesitation. When fear no longer controls decisions, new possibilities begin to appear. People become more willing to explore ideas, develop skills, and take advantage of opportunities that once seemed too intimidating. This openness creates momentum, allowing progress to continue even in uncertain circumstances. Over time, individuals who consistently move forward despite fear develop a stronger sense of self-belief. They begin to trust their ability to adapt, learn, and recover from setbacks. Fear may still appear from time to time, but it loses the power to completely stop the journey forward. When one person breaks through a barrier, the impact often extends far beyond their own personal journey. Achievements that come from determination, courage, and persistence have the power to influence and motivate many others. People naturally look for examples that show what is possible, and when they witness someone overcoming difficulties, it can reshape the way they view their own challenges. Throughout history, many individuals have inspired others simply by refusing to accept limitations. Their actions send a powerful message. Obstacles can be challenged and progress is possible even in difficult circumstances. When people observe someone breaking barriers, they begin to question the limits they once believed were unchangeable. Inspiration often begins with visibility. When someone achieves something that once seemed impossible, it changes the narrative around what can be accomplished. Others who share similar struggles, doubts, or goals may suddenly realize that success is within reach. What once felt distant or unrealistic begins to feel attainable. One of the most powerful effects of breaking barriers is the creation of hope. Many individuals feel discouraged because they believe their challenges are unique or too difficult to overcome. When they see someone else facing similar obstacles and still moving forward, it reminds them that their situation does not define their future. Hope becomes a motivating force that encourages people to try again and keep working toward their goals. Breaking barriers also creates role models. A role model is someone whose actions and achievements provide guidance and encouragement to others. These individuals do not have to be perfect. Their influence comes from their willingness to face challenges with determination. Their stories demonstrate that success is often the result of persistence and effort rather than luck or privilege. Another important aspect of inspiration is the ripple effect it creates. When one person takes a courageous step, it often encourages others to do the same. A single example of determination can spark motivation within families, communities, and even entire generations. Over time, this ripple effect can lead to significant changes in attitudes and opportunities. People who break barriers also challenge social expectations and stereotypes. In many situations, certain paths or achievements may be considered impossible for particular groups or individuals. When someone succeeds despite these expectations, they reshape the way society views those possibilities. This shift in perception opens doors for others who may have previously been discouraged from pursuing similar goals. Breaking barriers can also inspire collaboration and support among communities. When individuals witness determination and courage, they often feel encouraged to contribute in positive ways. They may offer encouragement, share resources, or provide guidance that helps others move forward. This collective support strengthens the environment in which new achievements become possible. Stories of perseverance and success also serve as powerful educational tools. They teach valuable lessons about resilience, determination, and creativity. By learning about the journeys of others, individuals gain insight into how challenges can be approached and overcome. These stories provide practical examples of problem-solving and persistence. Another important outcome of breaking barriers is the encouragement it provides to future generations. Young people especially benefit from seeing examples of individuals who have achieved great things despite difficulties. These examples shape their beliefs about what they can accomplish in their own lives. Inspiration at an early stage can influence ambitions, career choices, and personal development. Breaking barriers also reminds people that progress is not limited to extraordinary individuals. Often, those who inspire others are ordinary people who made extraordinary choices during difficult moments. Their journeys show that determination, hard work, and courage are qualities that anyone can develop. The act of overcoming obstacles demonstrates that limitations are not always permanent. Each success story contributes to a growing collection of examples that challenge the idea of impossibility. As more individuals push beyond boundaries, the collective understanding of what can be achieved continues to expand. When people see barriers being broken, they begin to believe more strongly in their own potential. The confidence gained from witnessing another person's determination can encourage them to pursue opportunities they once avoided. Inspiration transforms doubt into motivation and uncertainty into action. Over time, the influence of one person's courage can spread widely, touching lives in ways that may never be fully visible. The act of breaking barriers becomes more than a personal victory. It becomes a source of encouragement that empowers others to challenge their own limits and strive for meaningful progress. As we reflect on the journey of breaking barriers with Joe Ranga, it becomes clear that success is not defined by a single moment or achievement but by the consistent application of principles that shape character, action, and impact. From the power of self-belief to the guiding light of vision, each quality we explored, discipline, courage, patience, gratitude, focus, networking, and consistency, intertwines to create a roadmap for personal and professional transformation. Joe Ranga's story teaches us that challenges are not roadblocks but opportunities to grow, learn, and redefine our limits. Every failure, every setback, and every moment of doubt carries the seeds of resilience and innovation. By embracing these principles and internalizing them in our own lives, we do more than achieve goals. We cultivate a mindset that empowers us to lift others, create opportunities, and leave a lasting impact. Ultimately, breaking barriers is about choice. The choice to act with courage, to persist with discipline, and to pursue our vision with unwavering focus. Joe Ranga's journey reminds us that greatness is accessible to anyone willing to commit, to grow, and to believe, not just in their potential, but in the possibility of transforming dreams into reality. By carrying these lessons forward, we honor his example and empower ourselves to create our own legacy of achievement, influence, and meaningful change.